Welcome back from spring break. We're just going to do a little review over what we've been learning before we went to spring break. Before we went to spring break, we learned about the three little goats, and that was a fairy tale. Remember, fairy tales have evil or wicked characters. They have a kind or mistreated character, like our goats, like our baby goat, like our big goat, like Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella. They have a tragedy or something really, really sad that happens, like a parent passing away, or they can't get to their food, or they prick their finger on a nail and go to sleep for 7 years. They have royalty. They always have someone who is a king or a queen, or someone who's in that aspect of the higher authority. They always begin with once upon a time, and they always end with they lived happily ever after. Now, fairy tales always have magic or unreal events or characters, meaning like the story Shrek. You won't find an ogre. You won't find a talking donkey. There's no princess that comes out of the carrot that's been asleep forever and will turn into a green princess. None of that. No Tinkerbell. I hate to say, I really wish there was, but those are unreal. They're just very fairy tale, very out there, very beautiful. That's all fairy tales. Now, folk tales, what we're going to learn about this week and next week, are stories that are told long ago. These are old stories. Your great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents know these stories. They are also fiction, meaning they are also not real. They are the longer stories. There's lots of repetition, a lot of things that you'll hear over and over again. In the story, The Three Little Pigs, he always says, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. He says that 3 times, and that's definitely a repetition that you'll hear. There's also always a problem and a solution, a problem at the beginning and a solution at the end. So whatever problem they may be facing, they will always solve at the end. There's sets of 3s, and I believe the sets of 3s could be the huff and I puff and I'll blow your house down, because he says it 3 times for the 3 little pigs, for the 3 houses. Do you see the repetition? Do you see the sets of 3? There's many sets of 3 in the 3 little pigs. There's always a moral or a lesson learned. We also saw that again in fairy tales. There was always something that this story is trying to teach you, trying to keep you from going backwards. The moral in 3 Little Pigs is that you should build your house or your life on something sturdy. Don't really focus on something that looks kind of pretty. You want something that's well built and that you might have to pay a little bit of money and spend a little bit more time for, because it'll last longer. You want something that will last. So that's a lesson learned. The characters in folktales tend to be characters that are common, things that you know. This is real people, like Jack and Jill. They're real people. 3 Little Pigs, yes, they talk, but they're pigs. There's a wolf. There's animals that you can go out in everyday life and still see. That's the difference between folktales and fairy tales. Fairy tales, unreal. I can't go out and see a dragon, but I can go out and see a pig or a wolf or a little girl running down a hill too fast. So those are just things to think about when you read The 3 Little Pigs. I'll post a link on This Remind. Later on, I'll post a Facebook page, I believe, once I check with my district if I can do that or not. Just bear with me now. We're just trying to get this up and running. The main thing to do is to read. Read stories, read books, do your sight words. For our challenge for today, show me a weird way you did your sight words. Have your parents lay down on the ground and spell out sight words. Or pour out a little bit of sugar and write your sight words in that. Do you use sight words, build them out of Legos, build them out of Play-Doh. You can get sticks from outside and build sight words. Go put your sight words in the mud. Have fun with it. I want to see some fun sight words today. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. I'll try and get on it and read a book and have maybe one of my kids help it. Maybe it'll be a little bit more fun. Love you guys.